Andrew Mack here with MMA Island. Today I'm with actor Jack Burke, who's fighting for Cage Titans on July 2nd for their amateur heavyweight title. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm awesome. So, tell me about yourself. I see that you have one fight at New England Fights, February of this year. Could you tell me about the lead up to that fight and how that fight went?
Yeah, sure. Around December, late January, I had been kind of training at for about 2 years at that point, and I was about ready to take my first fight. And my team with Jackson Wink and Defensive Edge and the Seacoast Boxing Club, they all were like, "Yeah, let's do it." So Matt Peterson at NEF, he threw something together pretty short notice to get me on the card, and man, it turned out to be exactly what I wanted. It was an amazing fight. Um, you know, couldn't have asked for a better result. Um, and I just put my head down and went back to work.
So, how fresh were you feeling after that fight?
I was feeling pretty fresh, man. I got right back into the gym. I slowed down for a little while. I won't lie, and then I kind of got some rumblings about another fight, and that kicked my gears back going. And then when I figured out what the fight was, things really started getting going.
So, you mentioned Jackson Wick and Defensive Edge. Could you just talk about the gyms that you train at, your coaches, your training partners, all that?
Yeah, sure. So I fight out of Jackson Wink MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico. When I'm out there, I work with Joey Villasenor, Misha Lubimov, Jeffrey Chavez. Those are all guys that have helped me out from the JW team. Um, and I like to work with guys. The guys out there are just dogs, and it's hard work all the time. It's fight camp's always going. You jump in when you're going, right. So it's some of the hardest work I've ever done in my life, and I love every second of it. I love being out there. Every waking moment I get to be out in Albuquerque, I go. Guys like Christian Edwards really help. Those are like there's just a really good squad out there, right? So when I'm out here back home, because there's a lot of stuff I got going on around here, I train a defensive edge. Uh, I work my striking there with crew Dave Lyons, crew Max Casa, and then I do work with Connor Berry. Um, uh, you know, I like traveling around the area when I'm around here to get training in, and I go about an hour in every direction. Just whoever's open, I like to get work because I think everybody's got something to offer, and it's given me the chance to work with so many cool people. Like I've gotten to work with Doomsday Howard, uh, Mike Bazanson. I got to work with Jorgen De Castro. He got his fighting. Inspired me to get into MMA. So to train with him was like just an amazing opportunity. Um, and that's just all come from Jackson Wink believing in me.
Awesome. So, how did you get this title fight? How did Cage Titans reach you out, or did you reach out to Cage Titans? How'd that happen?
So I told my management I wanted to fight locally again. Um, I love having my family in the crowd. Um, and so they said, Cage Titans is a good opportunity to go for. So I was like, yeah, I'll fight whoever, whenever their shows are coming up. And Cage Titans wanted me to fight for the title, and it's hard to say no to that opportunity. And Hassan was a fight that I already wanted. Uh, Hassan and I have had a phone conversation where we tried to set up a short notice fight. It just didn't end up working on my end, so that's my fault. But now we're here, and we get to get it done, and it's exactly what we hope for.
So, have you watched Hassan's fight against Civilian for the title?
Yeah, I have seen that fight. That was a barn burner, I'd say.
So I was live for that fight. I remember the crowd being very split on that decision, and it was obviously a split decision as well. What was your opinion on that fight? Do you believe that Hassan did enough to win that fight?
Here's the thing. I'm a striker when it comes down to it. I understand where people say that Jeff won that fight. Um, I understand that it's an MMA fight and there's a lot that goes into a fight, and certain control can mean certain things. Um, but when I look at it, when I see Hassan with the belt, I see a champion. So I would say, yeah, he won that fight. Like he, I don't have doubts about that. You know.
So during his post-fight interview, he told the media that he was really tired in the fourth and fifth round. How's your cardio doing, and how do you think it's going to compare to his?
Man, this whole camp has been based around cardio. I kind of, when you take a fight, in my opinion, you should already know how to fight and know what you need to do to defeat the given opponent. It's your training camp is to get in shape. So that's what this whole thing has been about, is being able to do what I need to do for 5 rounds, and we're there. Like, we're performing well. I'm not getting tired when I, you know, should be, right? And it feels great. And like, obviously, fighting is different and than training, and it's hard to tell somebody that they're the same. But when we get in there, we'll see. We'll see who gets tired.
So of course, when you're training, you're doing all realms of the fight. But since you're both strikers, do you expect this fight to ever go to the ground?
Yeah, I totally expect it to go to the ground. I think it's an MMA fight, and to expect that just because he's stuck to the stand-up game or preferred that strongly in his first 3 fights, that to assume that he isn't training on the ground or he isn't prepared to fight me there is would be underestimating him, and that's just not how I go about things.
So how do you expect this fight to go? In a perfect world, how would you want this to end for you?
I mean, in a perfect world, man, I feel like everybody's gonna ask for that first round finish, right? But Hassan can take a shot. I can give a shot. Um, so it's gonna be it's gonna be test, man. So uh, perfect world, that first round finish, like everybody asks. But if I had to roll the dice on it, I think I I bet I TKO or I sub him in the third.
Nice. All right. So here's a question I've been asking everyone that's out of New England recently. So even just post-pandemic, New England MMA has grown to amazing heights. How do you think the New England MMA scene is going to look in 8 years, in 2030? What fighters are we going to have out of here? How many fighters? How good of the skill of these fighters are going to be compared to the rest of this country and the world?
Wow. All right. New England MMA in 2030. There's going to be some crazy guys out there. Like, there are guys who are coming up right now who are just getting in the gym. There are some crazy kid grapplers out there that you see open up those shows. But on some serious business, if you look at those Pan grappling championships and the stuff that goes around locally, there's some serious grapplers out there. And New England MMA it's going to keep going up, man. And I think that it's going to start carrying weight because shows like the CES, Combat Zone, Cage Titans, NEF, they're all carrying weight. Combat FC just got that UFC Fight Pass deal. So there's so much going on here, man. It's another reason why I asked my management to let me fight locally. Is like there's so much going on here, and it's so much fun to just be a part of it.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Um, yeah, I'm really excited for this opportunity. I've worked really hard for this, and I know a lot of people have seen me put in the work, and I genuinely believe that if you put in the work, you get the results. And I'm ready to smell the flowers. I'm ready to get the fruits of my labor.
All right, awesome. I hope to see you in the post-fight interview room.
All right, brother. I'll see you there.
All right. Thank you for doing this interview. Have a good day.
You, brother.